welcome back to Chasing Tails. In this video we're going to go out to the woods and grab the trail camera's SD card and go over the pictures from that, because the week before last I have only had 4 pictures on my camera, so I moved the camera to a different spot and adjusted the settings. So we'll look at those pictures along with this past week's pictures. We will also be shooting my bow, and I will explain the struggles that I've had the last week or so and how I figured out what I was doing wrong and like what my correction was to that. So let's go check some trail cameras. So first off, we're going to start off with the week before last trail cam photos. I think there's only 4 on here. I tried moving the camera and it obviously didn't work out very good because it was out there for a full week and only got 4 pictures. So we'll look at those real quick. And that right there looks like it's probably 6 or 7 point. And another one, it's probably the same. It's probably the same buck, but I'm not sure. And 3 does, 2 other does. Alright, so now we are on to the most recent week, and I moved the camera back to where it was in my last video where those pictures were taken, since it kind of seemed to be a better area for them. And I also changed some settings and tried to make the resolution higher and try to make the camera more sensitive so that I can hopefully get more pictures on here. So start off at 9.7 when I was actually putting the SD card back in. There's nothing there. Hopefully it's not a bunch of pictures of nothing, since I made the sensitivity higher. Looks like a buck, but it doesn't. I can't really tell how big it is. And then there's a fawn right up and by the camera. No. I can't tell what that is either. That's a doe. Nothing. There's something back in there. I don't know if that's a deer or... Oh, there's a buck. Looks like a decent one. It doesn't look like it's got brow tines though. Looks decent. 2 deer right there. Fawn and a doe. That's a small buck. Looks like only a 3 point. Same buck. Oh, might be a 6 point. Fawn. Fawn and the buck. Buck close up. Probably that same buck. Same deer probably. Ooh, that looks like a nice one. Yeah, it looks kind of weird color. It's probably, I don't know if it's from infrared or if it's actually got a light coat right there. Looks kind of cool. Yeah, that's a big deer. Another one of it, and it looks like it was coming back through, and that's just the edge of its antlers right there. Nothing. Oh, he's back. That looks like a big buck. Nothing. One close up, another somewhat close. There's another buck. It looks like it's just a spike. Probably same deer right there. Oh, it's a 3-point. Looks like an old doe. Oh, I didn't look at what time that buck, the big buck, came in. 8 o'clock. Ooh. Hopefully he's not nocturnal when the season starts. 2 does. One right up in the camera. Another doe. Something in the back. Fawn. Another doe. Another doe. Another doe. Looks like that same 3-point again. Doe and looking at something over there. Can't really tell. It looks like it's got antlers. I don't know. Ooh, why is that? That doe is really scrawny for some reason. See the rib cage on it. Another doe. 2 does. Doe and 2 fawns. Why are the ribs visible? That makes me a little nervous. A lot of pictures of the does and fawns. 2 close-ups. Oh, that's definitely a shooter. 4:48. That's better time. Alright. I don't know if that's the same deer right there that turned around or what, but it looks fat. Right up in the camera. There's another small buck. Does and fawns, does and fawns. Doe, big old family. Nothing. Is that today? Yep, it probably is running from me when I came in. Yep, that picture makes me nervous with where you can see the ribs on that doe though. And all that hair's coming off. It's probably just losing its coat, but I don't know why you can see the ribs on it. But that buck looks big. It's really tall. I think that's the same one every time. That big one. Sweet. Getting me excited for the season. So it's probably too soon right now to be able to know the exact pattern this big buck is following right now, but I would say there's I think 3 pictures right after or right at sunset, so I'm thinking that's obviously going to be a good time. It's going to change when rut starts, but that is of course usually when the big bucks come out if they're not nocturnal at that point of the year. But there was one point that it came out at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so I need to make sure I'm out there before then. Obviously sunset right now is a little bit before 8. It's obviously still too soon to see what the pattern is for the big boy though, and it still looks like he's only traveling at the night. It doesn't look like he's out in the morning, so I'm thinking get out there 3 or 4 in the afternoon, get out there before all the deer start moving and go from there. Now I would like to talk about the issues that I've been having with my bow. I've been trying to shoot it this year already. It's a month before season starts, but I've been having issues the last few years of when I shoot, when the arrow comes out of the bow, before it gets to the target, it slides this way and then hits the target. So sometimes if it catches too much this way, then it will come way over here and miss left. It will still hit the target, but it's very far left or high sometimes. So when it slings this way, it dips up or dips to the side, which I have noticed a lot in the past 2 or 3 years when I shoot my bow that I have. So I thought upgrading to my dad's bow would solve this issue because he upgraded to a crossbow this year. So I thought might as well take over his bow. It's got stronger limbs and my arrow will be moving faster, so there's less room for error when the arrow is flying through the air. That was not the case though, because once I got my dad's bow, I would shoot it and it would still do the whole flop at the end before it hit the target, and I was always hitting left and it was very inconsistent, and I did not want to change the sights on this, adjust the sights, because it was so inconsistent at that point. one shot it would hit and it would be on the target, and then the next 3 shots would be off to the left. So I actually did some research and figured out why it was doing that. I texted my grandfather and asked him what his opinion on the whole thing was. I sent him a picture of the target and showed all the arrows all over the place on there, very far to the left, probably like 10 to 12 inches to the left. And he told me to look up paper tuning my arrow to see where it was on the rest at. And the guy in the video actually suggested that if it was flipping that certain way, which it was, then I was having too much pressure on the arrow itself when I shot the bow. Which made complete sense to me, because every time I would pull back my bow, or not every time obviously, because when I didn't do it I would hit the target. Well, when I did pull back my bow, I would push to make sure I felt my kisser right here in my lip, and I would put tension on that arrow itself, so when I shot, there's a couple milliseconds of like free fall right there before the bow actually gains tension, and that's a lot of time to put pressure and shoot the edge of the arrow out before you shoot the bow. Which made complete sense to me, because every time I've screwed up on shooting a big buck, I'm sure that all the buck fever I get, I'm pushing on that kisser to make sure I know I have it right in the corner of my mouth. And every time I have tried to shoot a big buck, the arrow flips out sideways right before it gets to the deer, and I hit left or high or miss entirely. So I went out again after watching this video on YouTube and made sure I put I don't put any tension on the string at all, and I just put this up here and make sure I feel this on my face and just barely touch the tip of my lip to the kisser, and then put the tip of my nose on the string. And after that, it is so much more accurate. It has taken out so much frustration. Like, you guys don't even understand how frustrated I was, because the inconsistency was so high. That now that I figured this out, I'm actually hitting the target consistently and hitting it where I'm supposed to hit it. So if you're having this issue yourself where you're pushing on your kisser button too hard, and you're hitting very inconsistently, before you start changing all your sighting, just make sure you aren't putting pressure on that arrow or the actual string itself, because it affects your arrow and how it flies a lot. Alright, now that we got that all figured out, let's go shoot my bow. Now that we are done shooting, I will show you guys a picture of what my target pattern was before. And here's a picture right here. And I was actually aiming for that red dot on the right hand side, and as you can see, it was very inconsistent. And now that I don't lean and put tension on the string and the kisser, it is a lot more accurate. Thank you for sticking around until the very end of episode 2 of Chasing Tails. Let me know in the comment section below if the bow breakdown helped any of you guys out there, and let me know if you're excited for this hunting season. There should only be a few more episodes until we are actually out in the woods hunting. And one last thing, after editing this whole video, I do think that there are at least 2 different bucks out there, big bucks out there, after looking at the photos, and I think the one has bigger brow tines than the other, so I'm pretty sure there are 2 different ones out there. So hopefully we can get at least one of those 2 this season on camera for you guys. Thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for future Chasing Tails videos or any other videos of mine. Thank you for watching. See you next time.